There's been so much happening, guys. Having a little puppy is both a blessing and a nightmare at the exact same time. You can have like a good 5 minutes with her and then a bad 5 minutes. So we have been really busy learning the ropes over the past few months. I can't even speak right. Over the past month, it's not been months, it's just been 1 month. We got her at the beginning of October, it's now the end of October. And yeah, it's just been an absolute whirlwind. So I finally have time to sit down and chat with you a little bit about upgrades, new build upgrades, and sort of optional extras. It's a video that I've been meaning to do for quite a while, and I've just not really got round to it. I think I mentioned a few little bits about what was it? Some of the snagging that we were doing and the process of that. There's been, I think there is only one thing left that we want fixed, and that is the window pane upstairs in one of the bedrooms. One of the middle windows is green on the outside for some reason. It was a different window installer that installed it. So we're waiting for that to be hopefully replaced, because it does look really odd. It's just like two regular windows and then a green one in the middle. Apologies if you can hear Willow whining in the background. I have just fed her dinner time meal, like when I get home from work, sort of around 5 o'clock, and she started getting a little aggressive and a bit too bitey. So I don't mind little nibbles here and there, but when she gets a little bit too bitey, she needs to know that that's not okay and we don't bite humans. So she's having a little bit of a timeout and she's not very happy about it. I know there's a lot of conflicting advice about whether to leave whether to leave a puppy whining or not in the room. So I need her to calm down for a few minutes and she will hopefully self-soothe. And then I've got Daisy. Hi. She's having a bath on the freaking dining table, which I don't mind because this dining table is getting replaced. So let me tell you what happened with the dining table. I don't know if I mentioned at all in one of my previous videos, but our dining table, when it arrived, we took the middle leaves out, and one of the leaves had like a damaged corner, and then on the other side of the main table bit that sort of comes out. Let me just go check on Willow. I'll be right back. Okay. Hello. Want to say hi to the camera? I've got your dead squirrel here. This squirrel seriously looks like roadkill, by the way. Look at it. Look at its face. You gonna have your squirrel? So we're gonna try and do this video with a little puppy. Apologies if it's a bit distracting. Oops. Anyway, so yeah, the table arrived damaged. There was, like I said, there was a bit of damage on one of the leaves. There was also damage on one of the undersides of one of the sides, and then there was a bit of a scratch on it. We did contact the Cotswold company. They got somebody out to fix it, and the guy who fixed it said that he wasn't personally happy with the type of fix that he could do, but because he's the person that does the job, not the end customer, he couldn't sort of say that he wasn't happy with it. Like they wouldn't do anything if he said that. So we had to sort of say whether we were happy with it or not. And to be honest, with one of the fixes that he did, we totally could have lived with it, no problem. But on where the scratch was that I mentioned, it was like he had sanded it down and then lacquered it, but the table's not lacquered. So it just ended up with this like massively shiny patch, and the rest of the table isn't smooth and shiny. The rest of the table has like a wood grain feel to it, and is very smooth and a bit more matte. So it's quite noticeable. Like as soon as you walk through the kitchen door, you can see the shininess. I can't show you now because it's like dark outside, so there's no proper light reflecting in order to show you. But yeah, so we're getting. So it doesn't matter that Daisy's having a bath on that table because the table's getting replaced, hopefully in about 2 weeks. And then we've got our blinds installed as well. I obviously showed you most of that. We do now have the other blinds. We've got the perfect fit blinds around the patio and some hanging blinds, and then we've got one above the kitchen window. We did actually go for a bit of a taupe colour on that one, on the kitchen. What? You want your squirrel? Yeah, and then the first day that they got installed, the kitchen one came out, like one of the screws came out the ceiling. So I had to contact the guy back for that. And then on the others, two of the hanging blinds that are supposed to match don't match. And one of them goes up at an angle, so it's kind of slanted. It doesn't sit flat. And it's been manufactured differently. It has one has 4 strings that run through the inside of it, and the other one only has 3. So it's obviously lopsided in some way. So that one's getting replaced, but the kitchen one has been fixed. He came over and did a bit had to sort of fix it drilling. Basically the issue was that there's supposed to be like a big metal plate that runs through, and there's a gap where the screw was supposed to go. What? Hello. Yeah, you're still a little bit bitey, so we're gonna put you back. So, in the meantime, I thought it would be interesting to talk about the actual deal and the offer that we got with our new build. Because a lot of the times when you do buy a new build, it's just the house. You don't get any extras or anything like that. We were very lucky. We were actually getting, I think we got offered a 4% deposit contribution. And we got offered a few other little extras, which were actually quite costly. So we took that offer. We did try and negotiate a little bit further, and there was literally, they weren't budging. So we even tried to sort of change a couple of bits within it and sort of well, can we sacrifice that for that? But in the end, they had a certain amount of money that they could have a bit of wiggle room with, and it just kind of made sense to kind of go with it. So I'm going to take you through the upgrades that we actually got in our package. So these generally, apart from one, were not anything that we paid for. They were offered to us. I'm going to do 2 parts to this video because it's about 5:10. I only have a short amount of time to film this video. Then I've got to get changed because it's actually my birthday today, because I'm going out for tea. So my mum is cooking, so we're going to pop over to my parents tonight. So I don't really have a lot of time to film. So I thought I'd do a part 1, and then tomorrow I'll film a part 2 so that you've got it broken up. Anyway, okay, so to start with, we got the 4% deposit for the house. The other thing that we got thrown in there was the outside turf. So obviously they turfed the front garden, but they also turfed the back garden. That's not usually included. I should probably look up how much things cost, shouldn't I? I don't know if I have the paperwork for that. Turf, I don't think costs very much. I think it's just a few £100. But I don't know if I have the information on how much that would have actually cost if we'd have just paid for it. Anyway, at the moment, not important. We got that thrown in because we didn't pay for it, so I don't have any documentation saying what we paid for. The other thing that we got outside was an outside tap. So this is obviously a waterproof tap? No, I'm thinking of the electrics. We got an outside tap put in. In the next video, I'll talk about the waterproof electric plug. Sorry. No, not electric plug. Weatherproof double socket. That is what I'm trying to say. I've got my notes on my phone right next to the camera. You'd think this was easy. So anyway, we got the outside tap thrown in, which was great. It sits right on the other side of where our sink is, in the far corner of our gates on that side, and the tap's on the other side of the house. So in terms of practicality, right now it's really good because we've installed a water butt, which is great because then we can fill up watering cans and all sorts. However, if we wanted to run the hose from that tap, it's a bit long because you've got to go all the way around the house. So in our optional extras, we added in an extra outside tap in the garage to make things much easier for us. Did we also do one down the side of the house? No, we didn't. So we got the turf, the outside tap. Then we also got thrown in the integrated fridge freezer and integrated dishwasher. Now, these ones obviously I can show you because I'm sat in the right room. So that's our integrated fridge freezer, and then our dishwasher's just down there. Fantastic, because I think, if I remember right, to get the integrated fridge freezer, I think it was like a 1.5 or 2.5 grand. And the dishwasher I think was probably about 1 and a bit. So they are expensive items. So to get those thrown in was fantastic, because if they hadn't have been thrown in, we probably wouldn't have paid for them, because I personally think that's a bit extortionate just to buy a cupboard. Because that's literally all you're doing. So to say that they got thrown in, fantastic, and it makes our kitchen look so much more seamless. That is also the reason why we didn't do the integrated washing machine and dryer, because to get those would have been an additional 3 grand, maybe a little bit more than that. And we just could not justify the price, so that's why they are open on the front. And then I'd say the key thing that we did, because we got all of the flooring also included, and the carpets, they actually upgraded to the next level carpet that they were offering, because they pretty much all like have 2 options. You've got your basic carpet, and then a slightly more upgraded one. On the scale of things, it's not usually like top tier, but it's still a little bit better than your absolute basic. So for the carpet, they offered to do the living room, hallway, stairs, landing, and all 4 bedrooms. And then they offered to do I think it was the regular laminate in the kitchen, diner, utility, downstairs toilet, and the ensuite in the main bathroom. Now we sat and looked at this flooring, and we were like, okay, so we're happy with all the carpet, and this is where we started to try and negotiate, because we wanted to have the LVT in the living room as well. Like, we kind of wanted the carpet, but then we also kind of wanted the laminate, because we knew at some point we'd be getting a dog, which we obviously did. And we were like, well, the laminate will be better in there because it won't sort of soak up that dog smell as much. But they were only offering carpet. To add LVT to that room would have been quite a bit more to say that we were getting a free carpet in there. So what we did in our negotiation, we actually sat there and said, look, we don't want the cheapo laminate, because if we do get a dog, if they get their, I've got a cat, obviously, if anything gets their claws stuck in that, because it was quite soft, to be quite honest, it's just going to tear the whole thing up, and it's just going to be, even though it's free, it's just also a waste of money. So we paid for the upgrade, which was just over £2,000 to do the upgraded LVT flooring. I also preferred the finish, because the finish on this, I'm so lazy, I can't even bother to get on my seat, but the finish on this, I absolutely love it. It feels a lot more like rustic, it feels a bit older, it doesn't feel as new and as shiny, and that's something that I really, really like about this flooring. So yeah, we got that, and then we got a little bonus. So we didn't ask for the extra wardrobes in one of our bedrooms, but we walked around it on demo day and spotted that there was some extra wardrobes in one of the bedrooms. That would have been about 1,500. Yeah, so our sales lady, who was leaving before our house completed, I don't know whether she did this to be really nice or what, or by accident. She added wardrobes to bedroom number 2, which meant we got like 1,000, I think it was like 1,400 and 1,700, something in that region, for free. So we got some free wardrobes, which was fantastic, because we really needed them. And if we hadn't have got them, we would have been buying like Pax wardrobes from IKEA. So yeah, to say that we got them for free was fantastic. So what do I think of all of those upgrades that we got given in our offer? I'm personally very happy with them. Like I said, we've got the free wardrobe. You really can't complain. Am I happy that we upgraded to LVT? 100%. That is an upgrade that I think everybody should just do, especially if you are going to have or already have pets. It was so much more worth it. And also the color choices I felt were a little bit better. In terms of the integrated dishwasher, fridge, freezer, also fantastic that they had included that, because that is something I personally would not have wanted to pay for, because it was just so much money, and it would have been really unfortunate because I think it would have made the kitchen look so much, I don't know, like there's nothing wrong with it, but I don't think the kitchen would have looked as nice, because every time I look at the dishwasher and washing machine, I'm like, Like even now, I hate that it's in the background of my video. It's realistic. You're seeing what life is really like, and the fact that we didn't want to pay like $3,000 for that, which I think is a very justifiable amount of money. We got bigger units as well, because your integrated appliances tend to be smaller. And when you do a lot of washing, I think you need a bigger washing machine and dryer. But that particular room, me and Danny have had a few chats about how we want to redecorate it. So I think we're actually going to pull out the countertop at some point, and I think we're going to put some brand new units with cupboards and shelving and all sorts in there. So I think we're gonna try and make that room look way nicer when we've got the opportunity. So anyway, that is my very short little 14-minute video, probably one of my shortest yet. Just about the upgrades. It was just about the offers that we got on the house when we purchased. What I've noticed by looking at the website is that you'll see offers advertised and then they'll disappear, or they'll be on some houses and they'll not be on some. It sort of seems to depend at what stage the house is at in terms of build, because if the house is fully completed and it's not sold yet, you're already going to have pre-decided finishes put in there. So they're going to advertise the house as like this price with however much worth of upgrades already installed. Sometimes they'll reduce the house price because they want to get it sold, but there might not be any additional offers on there. And then with our house, because we had put our names down as like first refusal, we obviously got an offer, which was great, but it meant we didn't get any money off the house in terms of its sale price. So it was kind of nice to get money off the sale price, because then that sort of hopefully over time, because we're hoping to be here for quite a long time, hopefully over time that will mean our house is worth a little bit more in the future, but we didn't necessarily have to pay that. Whereas if they'd have brought the house price down, our mortgage would have been the same, but the house value might be a little bit lower. So there's lots of sort of like pluses and minuses to different stages. You could get a cheaper house, but you might not get any upgrades. You could get upgrades thrown in, but then you're still sort of like paying full price for the house. Or you could be paying a set price and then have all your upgrades and potentially any optional extras already thrown in there. So it depends on the builder, it depends on the site location, it depends what process the build is at, as to what kind of offer you're going to get. So anyway, I'm going to leave the video here, and I will do a part 2, which is everything that we actually specifically chose. In terms of the optional extras. So I'm talking all the fun stuff like light switches, sockets, Ethernet ports. We had like shaver sockets popped in. We did extra tiling. There was stuff with the oven, a fridge, and shower towel rails, all sorts. So I've actually noted down the prices on this one because we paid for these, so I did know the prices. So I'm going to go through that in part 2, and I'm going to try and film it tomorrow so that it can be up on the Tuesday. If I can do 2 videos a week, I'm going to try and do Tuesday and Thursdays for you guys. It probably won't be every week, because it just kind of depends on how busy I am, because things are a little bit chaotic with an 11-week-old puppy. She's going to be 12 weeks. She's going to be 3 months very soon. I don't know if is it this week? Might be this week. I think it's this week. I think she's going to be 12 weeks, 3 months old. She's had her first jab. She's had her first vaccine. Hi, Daisy. She's got 2 more to go. And then after a whole period of 7 weeks, she is like good to go. She can go out, which I'm really excited about. So anyway, I'm going to go return little roadkill squirrel. It looks really sad. She loves this thing though. She loves this. She loves like her little scrunchy pig that she's got. And what else does she like? I took her out for like a little toilet break last night. And she brought one of her little blue star chews with her. She just trotted out with it like in her mouth and it was really cute. Anyway, sorry about the puppy talk. If you came here just for house stuff, sorry. This is life. It's gonna be little bits and here, there and everywhere. Anyway, thanks for watching and stay tuned for part 2.